What's going on, everybody? It's a beautiful fall day here, and I wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about where I'm at with my addiction and the steps that I'm going to be taking starting today to start and pull myself out of this 3-month haze of just no structure, and isolation and really losing my way. So hopefully I don't get too pessimistic here, and hopefully I can just start to get pragmatic on how I'm going to approach this problem, and hopefully it'll inspire you if you're in a similar situation. You can also let me know what your experience has been like dealing with addiction and or even just depression and isolation and kind of getting yourself out of a rut in general. So that's a major factor too, is mental health. I mentioned this in the last video, but I've realized recently that I've kind of always had an addictive personality. It just wasn't so obvious, at least not to me. It was kind of normal. My behaviors of whether it was porn or smoking weed or eating junk food, playing video games, scrolling on social media, things that, all habits that are really, unfortunately, normal in our everyday life that a lot of people do. And I think we've just become so desensitized to the fact that we are not living in alignment with our nature. We are not, there's nothing natural about waking up every morning and opening your phone and seeing all of these highly edited photos of people or terrible atrocities happening throughout the world, school shootings, bombings of children in some far off country. It's so much to our nervous system. I mean, imagine meeting your ancestor from 500 years ago. Do you really think that they spent a single waking moment worried about the concerns of people in a far-off land that they will never be to? They'll never go to. It has no consequence on them. No, of course not. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing to care about people who you're never going to meet. I think it's important to have empathy, so long as you don't lose yourself to it. Because that can kind of become another detriment to your life is, the self-proclaimed empath who, always just gets so caught up in the plight of other people and kind of ends up making it about themselves and being very emotional. And you can't serve anyone from that place. I don't want to get too off topic here. I want to take a step back and talk about routine and what I'm going to be doing to start bringing more order to my life so that I can break the habit of what I've been used to. What I will say is never quit a job before you've secured another job. I remember it was before I became unemployed about 5 months ago. 4 or 5 months ago, I became unemployed. And before I became unemployed, I was working 3 jobs. Really just hustling my ass off, and so I could save up some money so that I wouldn't have to work for a little bit. And at the time, I felt so confident that I would be able to find something super easy. And I don't know if it's the economy. I don't know if I just haven't been putting in the effort, or I'm not willing to settle for a shit job for shit pay anymore. But I've never had such a hard time trying to find a job as I am right now. And so not having any real responsibility or structure in my life just kind of created an opening for this addiction to really take hold of me. And now I'm rocking my best Jesse Pinkman look with this beanie and hoodie. And I'm in the midst of addiction. So the question is, what do I plan to do about it? So I've dabbled with meditation in the past, and I've had great success with meditation in the past. And why I don't stick to it, I don't know. Actually, that's not true. It's probably because I know exactly why I don't keep up with it. It's the discomfort of the emotions that come up. Excuse me. The discomfort of sitting in my body uninterrupted, feeling what comes up fully. Yeah, that's been hard for me. Another thing too is my lower body. I've always had, strangely enough, even since I was really young, I've had bad knees and really bad flexibility in my hips ever since I was a little kid. I remember, all the kids I grew up with were always really limber. And for whatever reason, when, they always say when you're a kid in school, okay, sit crisscross applesauce. And for me, that was painful. That was uncomfortable. And so from a very early age, I really was uncomfortable in my body. There's a lot of discomfort just sitting. And now as an adult, the pain actually is even worse because I haven't been addressing it. So I'm going to start implementing a meditation practice for 10 minutes a day. And I'm just going to start with that. See how I feel. But I know it's something that needs to be done. If you cannot sit with yourself and be at peace with yourself with no distraction for 10 minutes, that is a big indicator that something is terribly wrong. All right? That is the ultimate litmus test to see where you're at with your relation to yourself, how much you accept yourself, how much you like being with yourself. And if I can't do that, then it's, again, a reason why I've avoided doing it is because of that realization. Oh shit, I don't like myself. It doesn't feel good being me, being in my body. Yeah. So starting today, I'm going to be meditating for a minimum of 10 minutes every day. Fundamental. One other practice I'm going to implement starting today is a practice that one of my teachers shared with me. And he calls it the grandfather practice, or if you're a woman, it can be the grandmother practice. But essentially, this practice is you'll stand in front of a mirror. I do this in my bathroom. And looking at yourself in the eye, start to imagine yourself as an 85-year-old, 90-year-old version of yourself. And this version of you, they've had the same struggles you've had up until now, everything about them is the same. The one factor is that this is the version of yourself that has lived the rest of their life abiding by discipline, taking care of themselves, loving themselves, doing the actions of someone who loves themselves every day for however many years, right? And looking at this person, this version of yourself in the mirror, sit and for just 40 seconds to a minute, what advice does this person have to say to you? What insight, what feedback does this person have to relay to you? Right? Would the version of you, the wise elder who spent the last 5 decades loving themselves, taking care of themselves, would they be judging you? Would they be hating on you, telling you why you're wrong, telling you that you're stupid? Or would they be speaking to you from a different place? One of radical self-acceptance, one of compassion. And the point of this practice is it's the cultivation of positive self-regard, right? To be able to look at yourself and accept yourself completely, the man in the mirror. Because until you can do that, and I know what it's like to accept yourself, to love myself. I know what it's like. And I know that if you don't have that, if you're not able to look yourself in the mirror and accept yourself fully, completely for who you are, you will never be at peace. It won't matter what you achieve, the type of partner you find, how much money you have. None of it will matter if you cannot sit in silence with yourself and be at peace with yourself. If you cannot look yourself in the mirror and have full admiration for the person looking back at you, nothing else will matter. And I know that for a fact. I feel it in my bones as I'm speaking to the camera. And this is a practice that requires consistency, persistence to override, the faulty program that we've downloaded, right? And I'm not going to get caught up on why I picked up the program, why I am this way. Because I know all that matters is, right now, I do not like myself. I know I can be better. I know what I'm capable of. And I'm going to spend every day nurturing that part of myself, starting today. I forget who it was that said it. It may have been Nietzsche. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the quote is, I'm probably paraphrasing, man's biggest fear is to be in a room alone with himself. And it's so true. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's so true. I mean, there's so few people now, I feel, because of the structure of our society and technology, our relationship to technology. That is a real thing that a lot of people, really talented people, smart people, struggle with. And so I believe those are the two most important practices to start with. Meditating for 10 minutes a day and the wise elder practice, cultivating positive self-regard for oneself. And those are the two practices that I'm going to start today. I'm going to let you know how they go. And my plan is to build up from there. So that's what I got. I feel really good about having this space to get these things off my chest. And I'd love to hear how you guys are doing right now. We can all be here to support each other. So that's what I got for today, and I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.